Hi everyone, Adam here. So it's about that time when everybody does their lists of their favourites and least favourites. So I'm going to do my most disappointing movies I've seen this year. I thought rather than say worst or anything like that, because most of these movies do have some good elements. It's just what I personally found disappointing. Just remember, this is just my opinion. If you like this movie, it's fine. I'm not going to start any trouble. Oh, I might. That was a joke. I have to say it's a joke because this is the internet. Disappointing movies of 2021. At the top, I'm putting Candyman 2021. Some people liked it, some people didn't. I was disappointed by it. Visually, it looked great. And most of the actors were pretty good in it. It's a story I had a problem with. And look, I'll give them credit for trying to expand the mythology of Candyman, but I don't think it worked. Personally, I just could not get into it at all. I mean, the original I think is a classic one. I watched it just before I watched this, and the original still holds up pretty well. Yeah, but I was extremely disappointed by it. Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City, I will give it credit for looking like the game. The production design is pretty good. Both the Spencer Mansion and the police station look exactly the way it did in the games. But for some reason, I found this kind of dull. And while I know some people don't like the previous Resident Evil movies because they don't stick that close to the source material, this one did, and I just don't think it worked. Well, it did have some decent moments. As a whole, it was a letdown. Video games obviously are very hard to adapt. We haven't had that many successful ones. We've got some that have come pretty close, some that haven't worked at all. This one falls in between because there are elements that did work, that were lifted directly from the game, but as a whole, there was just something I found pretty average about it, I guess. Marvel's Eternals. Well, I'm a fan of the Marvel movies. I've stuck with them all these years and I've enjoyed them. Even the lesser ones have some entertainment value, but this one was a very slow, plodding movie with not that much action. I mean, it was about a bunch of superheroes who can't really interfere in human conflict. Everything about it was just... Visually, it's fine. Visually, it looks great, but it's just dull. I hate to say it. Well, I add it to my Marvel collection, yes, because I have to have everyone in there, but it was a letdown to me. G.I. Joe Origin Snake Eyes. The backstory of a character who, in the previous movies, and from what I understand, the cartoon series doesn't say anything. So yeah, that's kind of an interesting way to take it. While I admit the other G.I. Joe movies weren't works of art, they had kind of a cheesy entertainment value. This one kind of takes itself seriously, maybe a bit too seriously for something that's essentially based on a toy line. Well, Henry Golding does a pretty good job as Snake Eyes. It does suffer from the usual action trope of shaky cam. Chaos Walking, which is a sci-fi which starred Daisy Ridley and Tom Holland. Directed by Doug Liman, who's usually a pretty good director. And it's about set in the future on another planet where people from Earth have moved there, which looks exactly like Earth. And there's only males there. And there's also this thing where people can hear your thoughts. And it was just like Daisy Ridley and Tom Holland, two pretty talented young actors. Apparently this was delayed many times, and yeah, I think I saw it because there wasn't much else on at the cinema, to be honest. But yeah, so the planet is full of males. When a female, played by Daisy Ridley, crash lands on the planet, it's a bit of trouble, seeing she's the only female there. And trust me, when I was watching that movie, I'm sure people didn't want to hear my thoughts. But, you know, it was just a very dull sci-fi movie. Up next is M. Night Shyamalan's Old. What a weird film that is. I mean, most of his movies are pretty strange. He's very hit and miss, if you ask me. concept of these people stuck on a beach but rapidly aging, which is a very interesting premise, I'll give it that. And the beach looked nice. And yeah, the twist was a bit underwhelming, to be honest. Up next, The Unholy. This is a movie where a young hearing impaired girl says she's visited by the Virgin Mary, and all of a sudden she's able to hear and heal the sick, and the reporter comes along to see whether it's actually true or if there's something more insidious at play. What a disappointment, because this has a pretty good genre cast of like Jeffrey Dean Morgan, William Sadler, Carrie Elwes. So there's a few good. And that's one thing I will say, the acting is pretty good, even by the actress who played Alice, the hearing impaired girl who was suddenly able to hear, Cricket Brown, but it just goes a bit over the top towards the end, because this is an intriguing premise, I will say that. A very intriguing premise, and I think the cast do the best they can, but it is an unholy mess of a movie. Yeah, you see what I did there? And Ollie's favourite movie of 2021 is Cosmic Sin, a direct-to-video Bruce Willis movie that somehow got a cinematic release here. And I think because at the time a lot of movies were being held back, so it's no, let's just put this crap out. If you want to know what the story is about, I have to reread it because I've forgotten what it was. 7 rogue soldiers launch a preemptive strike against a newly discovered alien civilization in the hopes of ending an interstellar war before it starts. You know what else shouldn't have started? This movie. Yeah, it's bad. Bruce Willis isn't in it that much. He's obviously just doing stuff for paychecks. Look, I understand actors. Look, I understand why people are doing paycheck jobs, but as usual, Bruce Willis looks bored in this. Frank Grillo does the best he can, but it got a cinema release here, and I don't know why. I think I know why, because nothing else was really being released, so... But holy crap, it was bad. And look, I think Bruce Willis can be good, but lately he's just, come to the point where he's just, I'll do that. And it looks like it was one of the cases where he was only there for a few days, but of course they put his name up there. Sell tickets or get off DVD. But nowadays when you see a Bruce Willis movie, this might be bad, which is a shame. But yeah, so the worst movie I saw this year was Cosmic Sin. Oh boy. Alright. Like I said before, just my opinion. If you enjoyed any of these movies, that's fine. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm Adam, and I'll see you again soon.